Welcome to the Deep Dive. This is where we take the messy reality of raw source material, the articles, the field notes, all those transcripts of wild moments, and we distill it all down into, well, rapid and highly effective knowledge. So if you're here to get past the headline and really understand the nuance, you are in exactly the right place.
And today we are taking a sledgehammer, really, to the whole idea of the African food chain. Our mission is to just dive into this collection of source documentation that captures the savanna at its most chaotic.
Right, it's most unpredictable.
Exactly. We're focusing on interactions between apex predators, so lions, pythons, and the animals they're supposed to dominate.
And these sources, these transcripts, they just paint a picture that is so much stranger than any documentary. We're going to show you that the reality of these predator-prey dynamics is full of, surprising rescues, genuinely hilarious acts of revenge, and just animals that refuse to accept their role.
That's it. We're looking at, I think, three major themes that come out of this data. First, the surprising strength of the underdog. Then, the critical role of these unlikely alliances. And finally, the fact that size, it doesn't guarantee dominance. And it certainly doesn't guarantee ruthlessness.
Okay, let's jump right in. Let's start with maybe the biggest and most complex player in all of our sources.
The elephant.
If the savanna were, say, a soccer field, our source transcripts suggest the elephant is everything. It's the universal referee, the emergency medic, and sometimes, the accidental chaos agent.
They absolutely defy categorization.
They really do.
The most compelling evidence for this is the direct intervention. We found documentation of this heroic rescue of a lion.
Which was actively drowning.
Actively drowning, yes.
Yeah.
This wasn't just passive observation. This was a deliberate, really complex physical act.
And that detail is so important. The source noted this was a super muddy situation, right? The lion had clearly panicked and was just sinking.
It wasn't just a simple push to shore. Not at all.
So what does the documentation tell us? How did the rescue actually work?
It details this very methodical approach. The elephant couldn't just nudge the lion, it would have hurt it. So instead, the elephant used the dexterity and strength of its trunk, almost like a sling.
A lever, maybe?
A lever, yes, that's a perfect word for it. It showed clear cognitive intent to lift this heavy predator out of the thick mud. And the observer literally wrote, "I have never seen anything like that."
Which just tells you everything. It's this high-risk interspecies aid that just completely dismantles our neat little categories of friend or foe.
And that aid wasn't just for apex predators in trouble. The transcripts also capture an elephant stepping in to save a baby warthog.
From a charging lion.
A charging lion, yeah. And the lion was forced to retreat purely because of the elephant's presence. Just this overwhelming, aggressive, interventionist posture. It's the ultimate ecological mediator.
So beyond mediating, we also see this pure strategic intelligence. I'm thinking of the story of the elephant facing the cobra.
Oh yeah, the cobra strike. That's a serious threat.
And the source calls the elephant's move a genius move.
It was. It basically involved this massive displacement of Earth, just kicking up dirt and sand and neutralize the snake's ability to coil or strike, all while keeping the snake at a safe distance until it just gave up and retreated. It's a spatial problem, solved brilliantly.
So they're protectors, they're strategists, but then there's also this surprising amount of, passive aid.
Right.
It shows a kind of community awareness. I love that unexpected moment where an elephant lifts a young giraffe so the giraffe can eat the highest leaves.
It's just pure, low-stakes benevolence. There's no other way to describe it.
But this immense power, it's not always used so smoothly, is it? Sometimes the sheer scale of the elephant just creates this unintended, often funny chaos.
Right. We have that transcript detailing a baby elephant that seems to be pranking a gorilla.
And it ends with the elephant just, whoops, losing its footing and flying into the river.
Exactly. An unintended consequence.
And that accidental conflict extends to other cats, too. There's one transcript that describes a young leopard that got actually stuck trying to challenge a baby elephant.
It just misjudged the sheer physical inertia, the bulk. It shows that even when they're young, elephants just redefine power dynamics simply by existing.
Okay, so if the elephant is the wise, powerful mediator,
Then the warthog is the surprise tactical genius and master of comedy. Far from being simple prey, these sources show warthogs repeatedly outwitting, confusing, and outright driving away lions.
Okay, let's unpack this because this is where the sources, I mean, they just blew my mind. It's a fundamental shift in behavior. The moment where baby warthogs turn the tables and are actually chasing a lion, the transcript just captures the observer's total disbelief.
Well, it fundamentally changes how we view, pursuit motivation. The
Yeah.
sources seem to indicate that when warthogs feel numerically superior, or maybe when they're defending territory near their burrows, that flight response just flips.
It becomes aggressive.
It becomes an aggressive desire for territorial defense. The perceived safety of their home or their group just overrides the fear. It's collective behavioral defiance.
And their defenses are complex. It's more than just speed. We saw transcripts describing a warthog outplaying a lion in a chase called the funniest ever. This wasn't just random running.
No, not at all. The source documentation points to the warthog using his characteristic quick 180-degree turn.
Right, the one they do so fast.
Exactly. And it uses it with the hard, deep soil near the watering hole to basically create a slip hazard. The lion, with its longer gait built for straight-line speed, just can't compensate on that soft ground. The warthog is using its anatomy and its knowledge of the terrain as a weapon.
So they're even using the environment to create traps. We found multiple instances of entrapment where lions just fall straight into warthog holes or are tricked by what the source called a warthog firecracker prank.
We have to define that, though. It's not actual gunpowder.
Right. It's a reference to the sensory assault.
That's it. The warthogs aggressively stamp and kick up dust, sand, debris, everything, right into the face of the charging cat. It creates this localized sensory overload. It's a blinding effect that forces the lion to just stop its attack. They weaponize dust.
And if that doesn't work, there's a physical defiance that's almost absurd. I'm thinking of the moment when a warthog rolls into lions and buries them in sand.
It's pure disruption. It's not designed to injure, just to confuse the pride, break their concentration, and give the warthog a chance to get away.
And then you get to the truly bizarre stuff. We have the mistaken identity where a lioness was seen cuddling what she thought was a lost lion cub.
Only for the observer to realize it was actually an adolescent warthog.
It suggests this momentary, intense confusion in the predator's maternal instincts. It's like a really strange, temporary adoption.
And they seem to be masters of distraction, too. That transcript of a warthog stealing a lion's lunch by dancing.
It's just theatrics as a means of theft, a low-risk diversion.
And that leads us to the ultimate paradox of their interaction. That cryptic note that a warthog saves a lion, and then this happens.
It implies this complex, dramatic event that follows, which just complicates their relationship even more.
Who knows what happened next? Maybe the lion showed appreciation, or maybe it immediately went back to hunting. It just confirms their relationship is never, ever static.
And then finally, this just desperate, high-stakes moment of quick thinking. The rare instance where a baby warthog successfully hid in a hippo's mouth to escape a lion.
I mean, that is using every single opportunity available for survival. The warthog is truly a complex, tactical savanna superstar.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting. Moving beyond the big herbivores. It's easy to focus on the big players, but sometimes the smallest creatures prove to be giant headaches for the kings of the savanna. Size and speed are secondary to, well, armor and attitude.
And the armored defense is perfectly exemplified by the pangolin. This shy nocturnal mammal is, structurally built like a pine cone, not for combat. And yet our sources detail a pangolin versus lion clash where the pangolin wins.
How does that even happen? How does a pangolin, which is essentially just slow-moving meat, actually win against a motivated lion?
The mechanism is aggressive defense. It's sheer impenetrability and disorientation. So when it's attacked, the pangolin rolls into that tight ball. We all know that part.
Sure.
But then the source describes it aggressively spinning and actually chasing the lion. The lion just can't get a purchase on the scales, and when the pangolin starts spinning and bouncing off it, the lion just gives up out of frustration.
So it's a defense mechanism that's also a form of psychological warfare.
That's a great way to put it. And speaking of physical deterrence, we see the porcupine's quills at work. There's a source documenting a fearless porcupine that makes a giant python regret everything.
That one's a bit more straightforward, I guess.
It is. It's a cost-benefit analysis. A python constricts, but if it strikes a porcupine, it risks massive internal injury from those quills that could lead to infection, death. The threat of permanent injury just outweighs the meal.
So the snake aborts the hunt.
Every time.
Even the slow-motion heroes get involved. The tortoise, one source describes a tortoise locking onto a lion's tail.
I love that one. The tortoise, using that powerful jaw that's meant for crushing hard stuff, just secures a bite lock that completely disables the lion's focus and mobility.
And causes the predator to panic.
Totally. And the ultimate defensive shell, of course, is the turtle. We have the record of a lion versus turtle shell encounter that gone wrong for the cat. The lion expends enormous energy, the turtle is safe inside, and the lion just leaves, frustrated and hungry.
But intervention isn't limited to ground animals. We have significant avian assistance, too. The secretary bird, known for its powerful kick,
Was documented saving a warthog and then actively bullying the lion that was threatening it.
using kicks to drive it away.
Directed kicks, yes. And sometimes the intervention is just opportunistic theft from above. We have that swift note that a lion loses its dinner to an eagle. One moment of distraction, and swoosh, the meal is gone.
It's a powerful reminder that the top predator is constantly vulnerable to competition, even from the sky. So, what does all of this mean?
Wow.
These moments, they reveal that the savanna is less of a rigid, predictable hierarchy, the kind we learned about in school, and more of a chaotic, fluid environment where relationships shift constantly.
And we see true, complex cooperation that really defies simple survival instincts. We have to go back to that remarkable instance of a giraffe saving a lion cub from a python.
That's high-risk, low-reward aid.
It suggests that instinctive protective behavior can just transcend species boundaries entirely. It's an act of preservation for an animal that, when it's fully grown, would be a threat.
And you can contrast that with the powerful maternal defense mechanisms.
Yeah.
The rhino mom saving her calf in this wild physical clash against a hyena. That's pure, desperate defense.
Yes, but the transcripts keep us honest about the stakes. That defensive success is balanced by that scary incident where a hyena grabs a baby rhino and carries it straight to the river. The outcome is often determined by a fraction of a second.
But the ultimate paradox, it comes back to the relationship we explored first, the elephant and the lion. Earlier, we established the elephant as the lion's selfless savior.
Benevolent, right. But then, another transcript documents an ultimate trap scenario involving elephant and lion teamwork
To catch a warthog.
to catch a warthog. This directly addresses that cognitive dissonance. They switch from being allies against the environment to pragmatic collaborators in a hunt, all depending on the immediate goal. There's no moral element. It's purely practical and contextual.
They're just driven by the moment.
Yeah.
And if you want a dose of pure, localized disruption,
The warthog and skunk versus lions incident.
which created the funniest savanna chaos ever, coordinated defense using, well, olfactory weapons.
Yeah, it just drives home the point that survival so often depends on ingenuity, on temporary alliances, and specialized tools, be they armor, quills, or chemical sprays. It's not just brute strength.
Absolutely. We saw elephants as universal mediators stepping in when the balance was off, and we saw the warthog's mastery of evasion, of pranks, of chaos. They're not just static pieces in a system, they are active agents rewriting the rules daily.
I think the central finding is undeniably clear. The ecological boundaries between predator and prey are just incredibly porous and fluid. They're constantly being redefined by unexpected moments of conflict, rescue, and even humor. What we see is less a food chain and more a highly dynamic situational web of interactions.
And that leads us to our final thought for you to mull over. Considering all these instances of complex cooperation, the elephant saving the lion, the giraffe saving the lion cub, followed by the lion and elephant teaming up to hunt, where do we draw the line between instinctive survival needs and, I don't know, genuine interspecies recognition, maybe even something like friendship?
It's a tough question. If an animal shows clear benevolence toward a potential enemy one day, only to become a calculating hunter with that same enemy the next, what is truly driving those complex momentary decisions out there in the savannah? We'll just leave that question hanging.